Hey, what's up, Street Talks? This is Eric Kim from the Street Photography blog, and this is
Robin from robinwong.blogspot.com.
So I'm here with Robin. He was able to get his hands on the sweet new OMD EM5.
Fresh from Olympus, Malaysia.
Ooh. So let's get look at some of the camera porn. Ooh, look at it. A nice 3D view of it. This little swivel screen right here. Oh yeah. Look at those angles, baby.
Down as well.
Look at those angles, baby. This is the bottom of the camera. And we're working with the 12 millimeter, which is effectively a 24 millimeter lens. So, Rob, you want to tell us a little bit about how you tested the camera over the weekend and your impressions?
I got the camera on Friday night, so I've been shooting Friday night, Saturday and Sundays, and I've been to quite a few places. Basically, what I wanted to do on the camera was to see how good it has been improved since the previous iterations of Olympus cameras. And some of the highlights would be the dynamic range. It has really improved a lot. And in comparison to EP3, you have less blown highlights and you can see a lot more details in the shadows. And even if you shoot at very high ISO settings, the details are still very well preserved. And also the ISO, clean, usable 6400. I'm not kidding. Okay, check out my blog soon. I'm not kidding. You just have to, seeing is believing. And the things I really like, the features of the camera, dual dials, just like professional DSLR. If you set it to manual, one will be on shutter speed, the other will be aperture, so you have quick controls. And there's a few customizable buttons, the function 1, function 2, and I personally set this to the ISO, so I can control these three things, three of the main things that I control while I shoot. And it still has the EP3's fast focusing, and you can still touch and focus as well, and which is really amazing. So yeah, and the camera is weather sealed, but this lens is not. So yeah, the kit lenses.
So tell us about the autofocusing speed. How do you think it's been an improvement over the EP3?
To me, the EP3 autofocus is pretty good. It's very fast. I didn't notice much different when I'm using this camera, but they're both really, really fast. So I have no complaint with that.
And have you tested it in low light situations yet?
Yes, I brought it to the bar. It's the La Bodega in Bangsar. It's not the one we went to, the one is in Pavilion. Yeah, there was another bar and there was a live band performance by Amir Yusuf. And in that situation, I'm not like just pushing the ISO because I want to. I need to push the ISO up to 6400 just to get shutter speed of 1/60. To 1/100, which is sufficient to freeze, the live band performance. They move a lot, and 6400, pretty beautiful. And autofocus, sweet. I didn't even turn on the LF assist light because I don't want to annoy. It's really dark and it's just this red bright beam shining on people. I just off it and no problem focusing at all the time, never failed.
And so, can you tell us the main disadvantages of the camera you find? Things that you don't like, things that you think could have used a little more improvement.
One of the things that the selling point of this camera is weather sealing. I was using it with the weather sealed kit lens, which is 1250mm. And yes, the camera is fully functional under wet. I was shooting under the rain on the street on Friday night at Bukit Bintang. The camera was drenched. I was drenched. My whole clothes were all wet. But the viewfinder actually fogged up, and that's really, really not cool because I love the viewfinder. I shoot through the viewfinder. Sometimes I use the live view, but I still want to see through the viewfinder when I shoot. And it was blurry for half an hour. I can't see anything at all. I can't confirm my focus. I don't even know how much to get in because it's supposed to be weather sealed. But apart from that, the camera it works like a charm. There was no problem. So I had to rely on the live view for that time. So yeah.
And talking about the viewfinder, so
yeah.
Tell us about the viewfinder, how you enjoy it.
The viewfinder is an improved version from the available Olympus VF2, but the refresh rate is really high. It's been bumped up to 120 Hz. So basically it looks a lot more natural. The transitions is very smooth. But personally, I still prefer optical viewfinder. Nothing beats optical viewfinder. But I was shooting in the Butterfly Park and I did a lot of manual focusing. Actually, it was all manual focus. And actually the viewfinder really helped. The live view was hopeless, seriously. All those live assist magnifications. Yeah, nothing beats trusting your own eye when you want to confirm the focus and everything. So yeah.
So, holding the camera in my hand, so let me just talk a little bit about...
You actually have the landscape grid on it. So this is an add-on which you can take it off.
Yeah, so I'll just give you guys some of my impressions because of course I run a street photography blog and some impressions of this camera for a street photography camera. First of all, I think that I'm actually very impressed with this camera. It's actually not often that I feel impressed with the camera, especially and I'm really excited about these new Micro Four Thirds cameras. The thing that I immediately noticed is that it has a nice solid weight to it. It's kind of similar to a Leica in the sense that it's got a nice solid feel to it. It doesn't feel cheap like a toy. I picked up a Fuji X Pro 1 about a week ago and it felt cheap because it was just a little too light and it didn't have enough heft to it. Of course it's not something super important, but I think just as a user I like having that confidence. Having this optional hand grip improves the handling a lot. Just holding it here in my hands, if you use it with a wrist strap or something, it'll be very nice and easy to handle. Also, what I love is that it has this sweet thumb grip right here. It's actually very similar to the Thumbie or the Thumbs Up for the Leica. And it just makes it really easy to put your thumb here and combine with the grip. It's very solid and feels very stable. When you're shooting with it, I've used the EP3 quite a bit. And it's incredibly fast in terms of the autofocus, and to hear that the OMD EM5 is even faster is even more incredible. Something else that excites me when it comes to street photography is this sweet 12mm lens. You know, if it's up here by default, it's just autofocus, but if you pop it down, you actually get a depth of field scale and you can switch it to manual focus. And as a street photographer using zone focusing, just keeping it at around 1.2 meters, pre-focus is pretty sweet. I think that for street photographers, this is definitely a fantastic option in terms of that. Also, some things that might be exciting is if you're trying to be a little bit more discreet when shooting on the streets, let's say you're in the subway or the bus or whatever, swiveling this and shooting it from your waist, shooting from the hip, I think that's a fantastic opportunity to be a little bit more discreet. It's almost like you're shooting a TLR camera, like a Hasselblad or a Rolleiflex or something like that. Also, the dials are very nicely paced. It's really easy if you have on aperture priority mode to use this to change your aperture, as well as this for this other second one for your exposure. Being able to have programmable function buttons up here makes it really easy to function. Initially, I was a little skeptical about this camera. I thought it looked pretty ugly on the internet when I saw it. Seeing it in person, it's almost like this old charming Olympus SLR camera. It's got this little hump here, which I assume accommodates the electric viewfinder. And I think, it seems to me like a very great option for digital photographers who want a solid street photography camera. The 12mm lens, I've heard really amazing things with it. I haven't shot with it much. Come back in here, Robin. Yeah, anything else you'd want to say about the camera? I guess in terms of how you might find it advantageous for street photographers?
One of the things that this camera can do is, which I haven't mentioned, is the IS. It's really improved. It's not just the 5-axis, that's pretty complicated to talk about, but how effective it is. On street photography, sometimes you want to capture motion blur while maintaining the subject, preventing it from being blurred itself. And I've pushed it down to half a second, and I can get away confidently with sharp images. And that's something I've never been able to do before with any kind of cameras. So that's quite impressive. For street photography, I think being small is good. When you attack people with huge DSLR, people are like, whoa, what is this guy doing? We have a small camera, and the camera doesn't look threatening. So people will warm up to you easier. They won't feel intimidated. And that comfort to work with people is really important.
This lens is a little bit, can you unscrew this or?
Yeah, we can. Yeah, it's like...
So it looks a little bit...
Yeah, there you go.
There we go. It looks a lot better.
Yeah. I think this lens will look better on the silver body. You should see the silver body.
I should see the silver body.
But I don't
we could just paint. We'd be like Kai from Digital Rev and paint the whole damn thing.
Oh yeah, why not? Right.
Yeah.
That'll be awesome.
That'd be awesome. Anything else?
I think that's all for now.
So yeah, bottom line is, it seems like a pretty freaking sweet camera. If you're a street photographer looking who has a DSLR, thinking about investing in another system, I think Olympus has really hit it off well with the OMD. It's going to be a lot of competition from the other companies. They've really stepped it up a notch. Fast autofocus, using this 12mm lens to even use manual focusing or zone focusing, huge plus. Very, very well usable high ISO. Very ergonomic buttons, very flexible. Yeah, I was actually, no, I'm not gonna buy one. But yeah, I was actually kind of a big hater of this camera when I heard. I'm like, this is like another one of these goddamn wannabe retro cameras, but actually very, very solid. I mean, if I was still shooting digital,
You might pick it up.
I might pick it up.
Yeah.
Do they make any announcements about some maybe a Leica M mount adapter or anything like that?
There is a Leica M adapter
For a Micro Four Thirty?
Yes, there's an existing one. So.
Toss on your Leica lenses on the Olympus body, or even get some cheap Voigtlander lenses are great. So this is me and this is Robin. So Robin is one of the ambassadors for Olympus here.
Not really, unofficial ones.
Unofficial, but he
I do reviews for them.
He loves them very much. And is a great photographer. And where can people find your stuff and your blogging in it as well?
robinwong.blogspot.com.
So one of these days he'll get
or just Google up Robin Wong. Should be able to find me.
Yeah, one of these days Robin's going to get a real URL. But for you guys, I'll leave a little description and a link below. So yeah, that's the Olympus OMD M5, and
we're gonna hit the streets.
Hit the streets.
Yeah.
Peace.